All right, we are live. I want to jump on Facebook, make sure that I can hear us, fine on that end, and we'll go ahead and get started. And, okay, so I can definitely hear. So we are good to go. I'm so excited to be able to connect with you tonight, Jackie. For those of you who are jumping online or catching us live, or even catching the replay, this is your host, LaKeisha Hankins, passion strategist, LaKeisha Hankins, I should say. I help overwhelmed female entrepreneurs get the clarity that they need in their business to get unstuck. So I host this She's Unleashing Her Passion show where I get to connect with other phenomenal women who are out there making it happen. And, just being able to share their story, their wisdom of, how they're thriving in their business or how they've overcome obstacles in different areas of their life, and be able to encourage other women is pretty much what this show is all about. To help the aspiring entrepreneur or the woman who's trying to figure out what her next move is, what her next step is. And, just to remind you that you're not alone in your journey. So if you are new, you definitely want to hit subscribe so you can definitely follow the show. We try to go live every second and fourth Thursday of each month. And of course, often have special guests where we make some exceptions, so to speak. And if you haven't, you want to definitely make sure you got some pen and some paper, because I'm 100% sure she's going to be dropping some nuggets, some wisdom tonight that you definitely want to make sure that you take notes. And if she says something that resonates with you, or we cover something that resonates with you, give us some feedback. Leave your comments. Let us know that you're watching, whether you're catching it live. And as well, we love our replay viewers. So, do the hashtag replay. Let us know that you're watching the replay. And that way, too, if you have any questions, we'll make sure we come back and, acknowledge those questions and answer them, after live. And if you have any questions, post them in the comments. We'll be sure to answer them tonight as we jump into tonight's conversation. So I'm super excited to go ahead and get started. And I've already shared this on my social media sites. So I think we are good to go. Just give me 1 second. I do want to share it to one more place on my personal page. Let's see. So while we're okay, cool. So so I'm excited. Thank you again, Jackie, for saying yes. And as we get ready to start, I definitely want to make sure I do this justice and share with you, who she is, who you guys have the pleasure to be in her presence tonight, and just hear, her story of how she's out here and making it happen. And just a little background too, because I actually attended school with Jackie. So it's incredible to see other women that you grew up with that are doing their thing. So girl, when I say this is exciting, this is exciting. So super excited to be able to share this. So for those of you who are joining and not sure who this is, like I said, you have the honor and I have the honor and the privilege to be able to share with you guys tonight, Jackie Morrison, aka God's Business Lady. She is a Jesus follower, wife, and mother, and founded the God's Business International, which is a society geared towards making God the CEO of your business, which is so important, guys, right? And after obtaining an MBA, she has over 20 years of experience in the corporate world as a six-figure executive. And she's built a lot of knowledge and surpassed so many hurdles within her life. And she's a passionate lifelong trainer and the go-to girl when it comes to networking and business resources. So like I said, you definitely want to make sure you grab a pen, piece of paper, take some notes. And she's going to share, how she launched and grew her business working only a handful of hours while still maintaining a 9-to-5. She's been married for 13 years and raising 6 beautiful children and working in ministry. So when I say she is out there, she's making it happen, but she's still finding this balance to be able to, build her business. Definitely going to tap into that. We're going to talk about that a little bit more tonight, because a lot of times I hear a lot of excuses where people say they're too busy, and she's, like I said, she's been able to successfully, thrive in her career, build a business, and also, her marriage, which, if you follow her on social media, you see she's all about family, she's all about God, and, she walks the talk. and stuff. So she definitely is the go-to person when it comes to, helping women find their purpose through faith and to be able to execute their God-given talents through her God's Business University, which I love that. I'm like, the creativity. I need some creativity like that. I'm like, okay, come on, God, drop something down. So she's, helping women, whether you're in corporate America or, starting your journey of entrepreneurship. She definitely has a lot of knowledge and expertise to be able to share with us tonight. And she's recently, released her first book, which I have my copy here, the 31-Day Entrepreneur for the aspiring entrepreneur. So I'm excited about this. We're going to talk about a little bit more about this tonight too, because she's running a 31-day, Facebook group where we're doing like the challenge and kind of like doing this journey together. So this is exciting. Works for me perfectly because it's helping with that whole consistency. And then guys, just that reminder of, having to put God first within your business. So she's definitely, like I said, committed to helping you find your purpose and walk in it. So I'm super excited. So I know I said a lot and stuff, and that bio for the most part probably even doesn't even do it any justice. So I'm excited, Jackie. So definitely go ahead, say hi to your people that have joined us live as well. So I'm not for sure on your end if you can see the comments or
no.
Okay. So I know we have a couple of live viewers on. Guys, go ahead and give a shout out. Say hi. And if you haven't, you definitely want to share this. So definitely believe, and that's one of the ways that you can definitely give back when someone's sharing value and, providing wisdom and tips to help you grow in your business, in your life. It's share the information. It takes you nothing to share it. That's a way to be able to, sow into somebody else's business. And, you never know who might need this information that we share tonight. Yeah. So I'm excited. Kim, welcome. Thank you for joining us as well. So cool. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to jump right on in.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to know, because like I said, Jackie, you have been successfully as far as thriving in your career and then launched out and started, your business. What is the why? Like, how did your business come about?
So that's a good question. It just happened all of a sudden. It was crazy. I know that I've always been called to women, and I've always been the go-to for women. And, helping women, no matter if it's business wise, personal wise, or whatever. And, I think that's a good question. I don't know if I even really ever thought about it. How did I get started? It has all happened like it just dropped on my lap. Seriously. And I know that I started listening to more podcasts. I think that's kind of how it started. I started listening to more podcasts, and I was flipping through them, just looking at different podcasts, and I'm like, wow, people are, really doing this. They're helping women through podcasts or whatever. And I said, maybe this is what I should be doing, And so I prayed about it, and I asked God, what should I be doing? And the first thing that came to me was write the book.
Wow.
And that's why it's for aspiring entrepreneurs, because it's like, Lord, okay, well, where do I start? Where do I begin? What do I do? Who do I reach out to? Who's going to help me do all of these things? Who's going to get me started? Who should I be looking up to? And so that's really how it got started. And so as I was listening to one podcast, and I'm gonna give a shout out to her. I think it's Blessed and Bossed Up, Tatum to Mia. And her podcast is just amazing. And I was listening to her for a few months before I even got started, but it was just amazing to me. And so she really was the one who inspired me to move into this arena.
Girl, that is awesome. So let me ask you this, because definitely coming from the corporate world, and it's one of the things I struggled with as well. When being a coach as well too, and stepping out on that faith and as far as becoming an entrepreneur, because a lot of times I would hear, okay, you're doing great. You got your master's degree. You're doing you got your degree in accounting or whatever. You're doing great in the corporate world. Like, why? How did you get to the point? Because I struggled with the whole feeling, realizing that there's something more out there, wanting more
Absolutely.
and stuff. And then at one point I was like, okay, am I being greedy? Am I being, selfish? All these different things were, coming up. And so
Mm-hmm.
how did you, maneuver or deal with that from, here I am making six figures, where some people are, like, oh, I would love to make six figures,
Mm-hmm.
but then transitioning that into becoming an entrepreneur.
Right. So, and that's good because I I've been on my job for 20 years.
Mhm.
And I was all about my job. Oh, you couldn't tell me nothing. My 9 to 5 was my everything. I worked my butt off. I did what I had to do. I moved up in the ranks, but I wasn't being fulfilled.
Hmm.
I knew, like you said, I knew God had more for me and I had more to give. And in the area that I'm in right now, I just feel like it's being stagnated.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I know there's got to be more. And I'm working so hard for this 9 to 5, but do they even care about me? Do they even, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
and what am I getting from them besides the paycheck? And yes, the money is good, but not all money is good money, especially if you're not being fulfilled.
Right.
you know
Absolutely.
and so it's hard, because I'm still on my job. I'm still working my 9 to 5, and there's still a transition period, and I'm not crazy. I'm waiting on the Lord to tell me when I can transition from the 9 to 5. I'm just not going to jump out there, because that's not how it works. So it's hard because there's times I'm at work and I want to be at home, so I can work on my business, so I can talk to clients during the day, so I can do these things. And hopefully it would be easier, especially because I'm trying to manage, family and 9 to 5
Mhm.
business and all of these things. So it's tough. It's tough, but God will give you the strength to get through and to do it. He knows that he lines everything up the way it's supposed to be lined up.
Absolutely. So, and one of the things, there were a couple of things that you said that I was like, oh, that stood out. The whole, feeling like there is more. Like, what would you tell, the woman or somebody who's listening to this, and maybe they're working at 9 to 5, are feeling like they're called to do more? Like, what steps, kind of like, would you tell them to take?
Mm-hmm. So definitely, start making sure that you get what you need. So whether
Mhm.
it's a coach, whether it's a mentor, so that somebody can start pouring into you. I think that was a big thing. Is really when I was trying to find myself or find out like who Jackie really is. What
Mhm.
arena should I go into? Because there's several different, um, what's the word for? There's several different areas that you can go into, and so just really honing in and finding out what you're passionate about. What do you have to offer, and what do you have to give that in return you can be fulfilled. Because the thing about it is, there's so many coaches, so many different people out there, but you want to make sure that you give off value, and that's one of the things I actually learned from you, Keisha. Is like, it's not just to be another coach or another mentor or whatever, but make sure you giving value, because
Right.
that person's life should show fruit. And so even, with me still working the 9 to 5, like I drown myself in information, in podcasts, in positivity, in my coaching call, my coach. I have a coach that I,
Mhm.
have, and she's pouring into me. And that's really what keeps me, level and stable and still feeling like I'm getting somewhere.
Right. Absolutely. So one of the things that you kind of like mentioned is, the whole personal development, making sure you're doing that. And there was a study that I had saw recently
Mhm.
where it was talking about, women of color, or, people of color, where they don't we were the lowest amount, I guess, in as far as like investing in personal development. So I'm like, sometimes I'm like, you need more than an amen, or just going to the church, because a lot of times, at first it was hard for me to invest in coaching. I started investing in coaching because growing up, I didn't have other women that looked like me,
Mhm.
that were successful outside of the traditional 9 to 5 of corporate America. So
Right.
that's kind of like how I got into the aspect of investing and looking into coaching and all these different aspects.
Mhm.
For you, what was that, I guess, that turning point? So I know you said you listened to podcasts and stuff like
Mhm.
that, but do you have like a personal development routine?
Mhm.
How do you keep your mind fed?
Yeah, absolutely. And so I was the same way. I was like, well, I ain't gonna pay nobody to tell me.
Tell me what to do.
I just, I'm like, what? And so, what I started doing was, honestly, I started subscribing to like all the free type things, and I've learned on the back end what that stuff does and what it is. But, and I just started listening to it. I'm like, this is good information, this is what I needed to hear. And so then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take the leap of faith and I'm going to start paying for my professional development. And then I started thinking about it. It's like, I think I mentioned yesterday on my live, like we go to school, we go to college, and we're paying. Let me tell you, honey, I got a $200,000 student loan.
Oh, I don't, you can a little bit better. Mine's is like 80,000. So I go,
I have a $200,000 student loan. Okay, so I invested $200,000 in myself, and I'm not even being fulfilled.
Wow. Yes,
so the thing about it is, we invest in ourselves in other ways, in our hair, our nails, we invest in ourselves, in our clothes, and name brand this, name brand that. But then when it comes time for somebody to speak into your life to help you get on track, to help you even in your business to make more money, then we think that should be free. And no, that's not the case. And so anyway, what was the question? Because I think I got sidetracked.
So it was more so like, do you have a personal development, routine?
Yes, routine. So yeah, every morning, of course, my morning starts with devotion every single morning. Mm-hmm. It starts with devotion. It starts with prayer. I have different readings that I read, affirmations that I go over every single morning. On my way to work is when I get most of my personal development through my podcast or through, whatever in my car on my way to work every single morning. So I'm listening to, either TD Jakes or Ron Carpenter, or I'm listening to something, some type of podcast that's speaking to me and that's feeding me. And then of course I have I have 3 coaches actually in different areas. So they're definitely personal development. So they're, and then I do have a fast day. So I consider that my personal development. So Wednesday, I fast from 6 to 6 every single Wednesday. And I've been doing that for, I think since January. Since January, whenever Lord told me to start it. But anyway, so every single Wednesday, that's definitely a part of my personal development, because that's my time to talk to my CEO. That's my time to say, okay, Lord, what do you want me to do in my business? What do you want me to do in my life? Okay, I need you to give me the next steps, my strategies, just like you would talk to your CEO on your job. And they're giving you their requirements. They're giving you what to do. They're giving you all these things. I do the exact same thing with God. And so every Wednesday is my fast day from 6 to 6. When I get done with my fast, y'all, that's my son with his Spider-Man outfit on.
I was gonna say, did I see Spider-Man?
He turned 11 yesterday, and I'm like, I walk in my room, and he got this Spider-Man jumpsuit on. I'm like, did you go backwards or forward? And so at the end of my fast day, I definitely I pray out of my fast. So I'm in my secret closet literally for an hour or more, literally. And God is just downloading things. So that's definitely a part of my personal development.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you, girl, for sharing that. And one of the things is I think definitely is being consistent in it. In your prayer life and having some type of routine, and all successful people do it. And I think sometimes we find, that's one of the things as entrepreneurs, we find it hard to stick to one thing. And if you're that person and you're finding it hard to stick to one thing, I can best believe that you're starting and stopping and doing so many things within your business as well. Starting over because of that lack of clarity is usually what it stems from.
Yeah. And that's good, because that's and the lack of focus. And that's one of the things is, when you don't have that direct communication with God, and you don't really know what you really should be doing. And so you start doing all these things and you can't focus on all of them. You're only supposed to be focused on certain things. So that's where, prayer comes into place, where God is saying, okay, this is what you should be doing right now. I know you're getting all these ideas, and that's great. Go write them down. Go write them down in your journal, and then you can revisit them later when I tell you it's time for those things. But
girl, say that again for the people in the back.
For real.
Thing I have, I'm constantly going over like kind of like on my mastermind when we're talking to my clients. I'm like, okay, this was our focus for these 90 days. This is what you said you were, supposed to be doing and focusing on, and then
Yeah.
come back to the next coaching call. It's like, oh, I want to do this, and that and stuff too. So yes, I think too, as entrepreneurs and creatives, that happens a lot of the times, right? We get all these downloads and ideas of what we should be doing, but like you said, write it down and you come back to it. Stay focused.
Yeah. It's so easy because when you start opening up yourself and God starts just really talking to you and you really start knowing who you are, ideas will come. And you're just driving down the street, you get an idea. Well, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And it's so funny because when I first got started on this journey, my coach, we would meet up every month, I think, or whatever. And every time, like you said, I had a different idea. I remember, this is so funny. We're gonna keep going, but I even remember one time, I told her I was gonna open up a funeral home.
Oh, Lord.
I was like, open up a funeral home. I was like, I'm so good at that. I want to be able to direct the funerals. And I was researching the school, how long it's gonna take. And she was like, okay.
I get it. I understand it. I got certificates in wedding planning, event planning, teaching kids in China English, some everything. I had all kind of ideas and stuff. So I totally get it. I was definitely there myself. It's like I learned something from each one, but it's like, what you doing over there? You're not supposed to be over there. Get over here. Get back focused. And then you start looking back and be like, gosh, I wonder, how far I would be if I would have just stayed focused. And you end back right where God had you, intentionally, where you were intentionally supposed to be at. You kind of like end up back there, 3 years later, 2 years later kind of thing. Let's see. And Kim said, that's great advice. Thanks, Kim. And Sean says, speak. I have to get out of my way and let God direct my path.
Absolutely. Now, one thing to say on that, Keisha, is, it's important because a lot of times we feel overwhelmed. We feel, we're tired. We're overwhelmed. Our house is a mess. And all of these things are happening because our focus is off. Our focus is on too many things and we don't have any order. And it's because we're doing things that we shouldn't really be doing at the time. And so that's why the Shanquetta, we have to make sure that we're seeking God on what we really should be doing. And so we don't overextend ourselves.
Right. And experience burnout and overwhelm and all that kind of stuff. Because I told you, like, kind of like from personal experience, that's kind of like where I was with my business. And I ended up like shutting down for like 7 months and having to just the whole restart and do everything over again. And then for me, coming back onto the scene, it was that whole fear of burning out. So now, like, I start doing something, I'm like, oh, okay, am I doing too much? Okay, God, is this what you called me to do? Or is this what I should be doing right now in my business? Because it's that whole fear of burning out again. I'm like, it was not a good feeling.
It's not. And when you know good, nothing else around you will be.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was, how did you find your business voice? And, the topic was kind of like finding your business voice through faith. Like, explain that. Like, what is that, mean to those that are listening in?
Well, there's a lot of, there's tons of coaches and things like that out there. And like I told you before, I was like just hopping onto all sorts of stuff, coaches listening on those free things. And, there's a few people I started getting in really in tune with. And then I listened to, I don't know, somebody's podcast. And they were just talking about how you have to be careful and really listen to people's messages. And so I started doing that, and I started kind of getting turned off because I was actually really hearing what they were saying. Don't get me wrong, they're awesome, they're great people, but do you really have Christ as your foundation, like you're saying that you do? And so that's where I really said, you know what, I really want a faith-based coaching business. Like, it's about God, and I can't be afraid. I can't be scared. A lot of times, we will mention God over here, but we won't mention him over here. doesn't, and so I had to come to a point where, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, because God already, and I talked about this, God already knows who's assigned to you, who he has assigned to you. And so and you're not going to work with everybody.
Yes.
Everybody's not going to be attracted to you. You're not going to be attracted to everybody. You're not going to click with everybody. But those that are assigned to you, God is going to send those people to you. So I have to be and do who I am. And
Yeah.
that's what I am. That's what I feel comfortable in. And I just feel like, you know, you just have to be so careful not to get sucked in and pulled away from your values, your morals, and what you believe.
Yes, your true. So I always say, yes, figure out your true authentic self, your true authentic voice, and who it is that you're called to serve and serve them well. So yes, absolutely. And like you said, you know, there's a set aside of people for you who you're called to, you know, to serve and work directly with. So that is awesome. So I know you have to do your Facebook Live tonight too, because like I tell y'all, Jackie she's doing this out there making it happen. But before we, you know, we do, I want you to talk about your book and, you know, how can people get a copy of this? You know, can they join the challenge, or do they have to purchase the book in order to join the challenge? Like, how does that work?
Awesome. Well, my book, again, is a 31-day devotional for the aspiring entrepreneur, and it's appointing God as your CEO. It can be purchased on Amazon as well as my website, www.godsbusinesslady.com. So you can purchase it on either one. And basically, it's a devotional. It's very short. It's not a long devotional because, you know, a lot of times we just don't have time to be reading no novel in the morning or in the afternoon, or whenever you decide that you know, do your devotions, you don't want to read a whole novel. And so it shows the day, it has the scripture, it has at the bottom an affirmation that you can repeat over yourself every single day, as well as an application, because I'm trying to get in the camera. I am super big on, okay, you read this, so now what? So now what are your next steps? I'm super big on next steps. Like, it's no reason for you to read something and then you set it down and you're done. No, there needs to be some thought. Okay, what is God saying to you right now? What are your next steps? How are you going to either fix it, implement it, do it, or whatever? Write that down. Because when you write it down, you're putting it out there. You put it out there on pen and paper. And the Bible says you got to write the vision. And so it has the application section, and then it has a prayer at the end. And it should really take you no more than 15 minutes a day to do this devotion every single day. And so I am doing a 31-day challenge that anyone can join. It's on Facebook. It's a 31-day challenge, appointing God as your CEO. So you can search for that in Facebook. And I'll definitely get you added to that group where we go on every single day at 5:30 Pacific time, every single day. And I mean, it's been so amazing to me because, like I said before, God downloaded this book in me. So as I'm reading it, sometimes I can't even believe that's what I wrote, because it's not me writing, it was God writing. So I'm like, oh. So I'm actually going through the book for my first time because I didn't reread the book. Everybody else read it, but I did not reread the book. I had the editors and everybody else, because it's just hard to read your own writing, and so I couldn't do it. So I'm actually reading it.
You go back and read it, people are like, oh, that was good. Because I got those, and I go back and look at my journal. I was like, okay, hold on now.
Exactly. So anyhow, so go ahead. You can purchase the book on Amazon, and please join the 31-day challenge. It will bless you.
Absolutely. So guys, I've put the links in the comments for her website, godsbusinesslady.com, as well as the 31-day challenge. So you definitely want to, like I said, request access to join. And I don't recommend everybody's stuff, right? I just don't. So I'm recommending this. Like, this is really good, especially for those of you who are busy. You got 15-20 minutes to do this. And then what I love is that she made this a challenge, because that, you know, holds me accountable to show up, and all these other women are getting some amazing breakthroughs and ahas in there. So it's that whole community, and you know, seeing her go live every day, I'm like, okay, let me get it together. You know, where's my book at? You know, I look at it today, you know, stuff like that. And just me, I set a reminder in my phone to make sure I do this, because I'm one of those ones, I can honestly say I got off track. I'm one of those, I'll do great for like a good 2 weeks, and then life happens or something, and I'm like, okay, how did this happen? How, where did the last 4 days or so go, and then those 4 days now turn into 8 days, or etc. So that's why it's so important to be around other people who are doing it and making it happen, for that whole accountability, and just being in that whole environment, and around other like-minded women. And what I love is everyone is in different areas in their life, and you can tell it. So it's like, okay, it doesn't matter where your relationship is with God, if you're new to Christ, a newbie, or any of that, you'll love this group, you'll love this book, all those different things, especially if you're an aspiring entrepreneur. So thank you for allowing God to use you, and making this happen, creating this book. So it's definitely been a blessing and stuff. So
thank you.
So Kim said God confirmed something with me today about fear. So, girl, that can be a whole nother session. So listen, guys, because I know, Jackie, what time you got to be off soon, right?
Well, I changed it to 6:00 tonight. So
okay, cool. So we'll get ready to wrap it up, so she can get ready for the next one. But Jackie is also offering, don't give me the line, how many complimentary sessions was it?
3.
Was it 3? 3 discovery sessions, right? Yeah. So if you're dealing with fear, dealing with any areas in your life where you need someone to talk to or walk you through that, I definitely recommend you reach out and you connect with her and schedule a 30-minute or 15-minute, however, conversation with her, to get out of your own way, and just to be able to hear someone else's perspective, or just for that clarity, because sometimes that's what it is that we need. Sometimes we know exactly what we need to do, but it's just that that clarity, talking with someone else, and that accountability to help you get out of your own way, to take action, and start that business or whatever it is that you've been procrastinating and putting on hold, that you should be doing.
Absolutely.
So let me see, make sure, Jackie, is there anything else that that you want to share tonight, that that I didn't ask or I didn't cover?
So good. I'm so excited for you and so proud of you as well. I just wanted, the last thing, if I can say anything, is just, I think it's just so important to be in a community, be in a tribe of like-minded women. And I mean, even with Keisha, she has helped me so much in business. And she might not even know it, but just, tidbits here, there. And it's important. It's important. You need relationships. And so I think, we're always the ones, especially as Black women, we never want, we think we can do everything on our own and by ourselves, and that's not true. That's not true. We really need each other, but it's important to just, seek God and pray, and ask him who you should be connected to that will help build you up. And so definitely, Keisha and I build each other up. And so it's important that you connect with like-minded women, get in mastermind groups. Like Keisha has a great mastermind group. I have different programs. Get in some type of program where you're around like-minded women to help build you up, encourage you, and so that you can push forward.
Yes, absolutely. Take your business or life to the next level. Absolutely. So definitely, like you said, definitely so important to be able to do that, and not trying to do everything on your own. So I think a lot of times we do that. So like you said, relationships are key. Collaboration is key. If you're trying to do your business and stuff on your own, that means your vision is not big enough, right? So if you could do it on your own, then yeah. I've definitely been there, done that. And, sometimes it goes into the whole trust issues and all those kind of things, not wanting to delegate and let stuff go. So that's a whole other, monster, where we can talk about outsourcing and just really just trusting people with your goals and with your dreams. You can't trust everyone, but like Jackie said, pray, seek wisdom, ask God for direction, and, he'll definitely bring those, into your life that are supposed to be there. And as well as, those that aren't supposed to be there, he'll move them out of the way. and stuff. Because I think sometimes we don't know how to do that, or we don't know how to say no to certain situations, and not everything is an opportunity. And so that's always what I tell people, too, when you're looking at different opportunities, make sure it's in alignment with who you are and your purpose, who you're called to serve and all those different things. And that way you're not saying yes to everything.
Right.
You don't need to say yes to everything. So, but yeah. So, and before we get off, can you let us know how we can connect with you?
Yes, so I am God's Business Lady on all social media. So
Yes.
Instagram at God's Business Lady, Facebook at God's Business Lady, Twitter at God's Business Lady, but lady is LDY on Twitter. I am on YouTube. I don't know how to find myself on YouTube, y'all. Somewhere.
We won't fix that.
I am on Pinterest as God's Business Lady. So you can email me, godsbusinesslady@gmail.com. You can visit my website, www. It's right there, godsbusinesslady.com. And I think that's all the ways there.
Absolutely. So she is everywhere. There's no reason why you cannot find Jackie online or, whatsoever. So I'm excited. And, thank you again for, jumping on and sharing with us tonight. Congratulations on your first successful
Thank you.
Just allow God to, be the CEO of your life and being an example for so many other women and us that are looking up to you. I look up to you because I'm like, oh, how'd she do it? 6 babies and, and just successful, marriage and all these different things. So congratulations. Keep doing what it is that you're doing and paving the way for other successful women or aspiring women to go after their goals and their dreams. So thank you for our viewers who joined us tonight, that rock with us all the way through this. I hope you got some wisdom. Definitely share what your takeaways were, your nuggets. Reach out to Jackie. Like I said, she's only doing 3 sessions. Reach out and take advantage of those sessions. So I definitely highly recommend that, and make sure you grab a copy of her book, and hope to see you guys over in the 31-day of appointing God as your CEO challenge, where it has definitely been a breakthrough and some transformations that are taking place. So that is it, Jackie. Thank you guys again. And I will, I'll see you online and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. Have a good night, guys.